What's going on, everybody? Wow Time here with an update, a discussion about the hotfixes that happened today, August 16th, for the reset. This is the third week in Mythic Plus, and I think Blizzard is, changing the way that things work. Last week, which was the second week in Mythic Plus, they changed some abilities altogether. There were some mobs, they just said, we're not going to have them cast that ability at all. They reduced a lot of the damage to some of the bosses and stuff like that. So then during last week, it was a fortified week, and I think that they started to realize, hey, some of this stuff is scaling a lot harder than we wanted it to, which was definitely evident to me. Um, Ran a 16 Iron Docks, easy peasy. Went into a 19 and got didn't even hardly get to the first boss, and we were getting trucked. And I mean, I wasn't pulling any different or anything crazy. We're using cooldowns and all that, like 285 item level gear. So it should have been difficult, but not like impossible. It was rough. And then on Kharazan Lower, I mean, that place just needs work, right? I mean, AoE abilities pull stuff through the floor. There's nameplates everywhere. Flashlight from the ushers. When two of them are going off, even with backs turned, it's doing like half of my health at like a 285 in a 13 key, and then the DPS are just getting trucked, right? Now, there's some places where you can avoid that damage altogether, like around the pillar and stuff like that. You can sort of line of sight them. But when you have Sanguine and you kill them, like around the pillar, you have to move them out, and then you may not be able to get them back and that kind of stuff. So some of these are definitely warranted. Let's take a look at them. So August 15th, this came out. It's August 16th today, third week of Season 4. Faded Raids. Enemy health reduced by 5% in Faded, Heroic, and Mythic difficulties. They think the health reduction will smooth out some of the roughest edges. Okay. Mythic Plus, this is what we're interested in. Shrouded, the Nightmare Clouds will now despawn more quickly when the Nathrazim infiltrators are captured. Yeah, so this has happened to me on Grimrail quite a few times, where, and just like the Nathrazim will die, and I will try to roll or move back out of the boxes, and that just happens to be where that like Nightmare Cloud is, even after the dude's been captured. So I like this. I mean, the guy's captured, get rid of his stuff. Grimrail, the technician's 50,000 volts cast time increased to 3.5 seconds. It's whatever. I mean, these are the mobs in the beginning where they'll release the iron stars. So the technicians need to die first. They do this 50,000 volts, and then they release the iron stars. So just giving you a longer time to coordinate between kicks. Iron Docks. Charging Slash now only cast by Gromkar foot soldiers. Gromkar's foot soldiers charging slash damage reduced by 35%. I think that's what was killing us there when I ran that 19. So they reduced it by 35%. Thundering Stomp reduced by 25%. Throw damage is now reduced by armor. Okay, I'll take that. Rampaging Cleftuff's health reduced by 15%. They're annoying. They're not a big deal. They just run back and forth, and so killing these things easier to save time. I'm all for that. Resolved an issue where the enemies would fail to cast abilities in specific locations in their encounter area. Yeah, that's weird. So they fixed that. Okay, here's the big one. This is the one I'm the most looking forward to. Our Kharazan Lower. Arcane Warden's volatile charge damage reduced by 40%. I mean, these are big damage reductions, right? I mean, 40% is a lot. Imagine you had $1,000 and then you spend 40% of it, and then you've got 600, right? So that's a big chunk, right? That's almost half. So the damage is clearly not what they intended it to, that they're taking that big of a chunk. Skeletal Usher's flashlight damage reduced by 20%. I think that's really good. That thing hurt and it sucked even when you had your back turned and avoided it. and their health is reduced by 25%. That's going to be nice, more so on fortified weeks and stuff like that, to where they're only getting off like 1 or 2 flashlights. Because I mean, if they start to get off like 3 and stuff like that, then you're getting your butt kicked. The Patron's Uppercut reduced by 20%. Phantom Cruise Hammer, Hammer Down, now has a 1.5 second cast time. Was instant. So that's pretty cool, right? So something that was instant that just happened, now you have a 1.5 second cast time to either stun it, whatever, get out of there. And it increases damage taken by 25%. Was 50. All right, yeah. So a little bit of nerf there. As well, resolved an issue that caused Blood DK's dancing rune weapon to strike unintended targets with blood boil through floors. Yeah, that's a huge problem. So I'm glad they fixed that. Beautiful Beast, which I'm assuming we're not going to have this week since they're supposed to rotate between the 3. I'm not sure what EU I have, but NA had this this week. I'm sorry, last week. 1.5 second cast was instant again. Nice, something that you can see coming. Silver Force Bloody Jab, initial damage reduced by 20%. That's good. Maiden of Virtue, Bulwark's Absorb reduced by 10%. Yeah. Attunement the Huntsman, intangible presence damage reduced by 50%. Right. That's going to be huge, especially going into Tyrannical. By 50%. That's halving it, right? Again, that's like you have $1,000 and then now you have 500. So that's going to be good. Upper, Wraithguard Flamebringer's cleave and strike damage reduced by 20. Shade of Medivh, Guardian's Image Shimmer damage reduced by 25%. That's pretty major as well, right? So I think it's those stupid birds that come up. Gonna reduce the damage by 25%. I like it. Mana Devour, I haven't had a huge problem with this. Of course, I haven't ran anything over like a 17. On fortified, but the energy discharge damage reduced by 30. Sounds good to me. The Watcher, the Shadow Phlegm spits out, I think, by some of the ads. But the damage is increased by 150%, so we're going to need to be aware of it. And the travel speed reduced by 100%. Radius reduced to 4 yards. Okay. Sulia's Gambit. Invigorating Fish Stick, cast time increased to 2 seconds, as well as 1.5. It gives you an extra half a second to try to kick it. Let's see. Enforcer's Stun Grenade, Flesh Render's Meat Hook, Kira's Adrenaline Injector. These are Draenor trinkets. They increased the stats on them. So they said they just want to make it, fit modern standards. So those are the nerfs. Let me know what you guys think. Are you happy with these nerfs? Some of them, honestly, I haven't had a big problem with. But hierarchies, I'm sure it's a lot worse. The Lower Kharazan, I am happy for those for sure. And then some of the boss nerfs ought to help this week going into it. So I think Blizzard is learning. They are seeing, hey, these things are sort of harder. We don't want them to be like, we want them to be difficult, but probably not like near impossible or so frustrating. So I like that. I'm down with it. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a great morning, night, day, whenever you're watching. And I hope that you clear some keys today and this week. And everybody go out there and get that Keystone Master. I'm looking at getting mine probably this week after running a few dungeons. Usually takes me about 3 weeks just pugging it. So totally doable. Keep it up, everybody. Remember, it's just a game. Have fun with it. And until next time, I'll catch you all later.